All right, this is going over more practice of exponents. Now, this has everything inside the parentheses all raised to a power. One way you could do this is to rewrite it all, because it's saying all of this inside here, means you multiply it by itself 3 times. So it'd be 3x to the 4th y times 3x to the 4th y times 3x to the 4th y. Okay, to find my answer, I would take 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Okay? Then I'll talk about the shortcut in a minute. Now my x's, I've got 4, 8, and 12. X to the 12th. My y's, 1, 2, 3. Y to the 3rd power. That would be my answer. Now the rules of exponents, when you have it up here, one way you can figure it out is this says 3 to the 3rd power. 3 to the 3rd power is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. Then you have x, and it's a power to a power. You multiply 4 times 3, that's where the 12 comes from. Y is to the 1st power, 1 times 3 is 3. Again, if you don't understand the shortcuts, you can go through and write it out like I did on number 1. Here's number 2. Write down number 2. Now on number 2, what we're going to do is you're going to start on the inside. Always inside the parentheses. Now when you are dividing and your bases are the same, what do you do with your exponents? Subtract. So you take 8 minus 3, which is x to the 5th power, and it's still all raised to the 6th power. Now, 5 times 6. So your answer is x to the 30th. That's your answer. Number 3. Try number 3 the same way. Do what is on the inside first, and then do the exponent. So on number 3, I have my x's. I have a 3 and a 2. 3 minus 2 is 1, so I have x to the 1st power. 8 minus 6 is 2. Y to the 2nd power. It is all raised to the 3rd power. Yes. Now, if you put x to the 1st power, that's fine. Now, you can either write it out 3 times, xy squared times xy squared times xy squared, and figure it out. Or just this. 1 times 3, x to the 3rd power, 2 times 3, y to the 6th, and that's your answer. This right here. Moving on to number 4. There's number 4. Try this one. All right, on this one again, do what is inside the parentheses. That 2 will just stay the same. Up there, 2. 4, and then the x is right here. 4 minus 2 is 2, so I have x to the 2nd power. This is all still to the 2nd power. Well, there's nothing to subtract that 2 with. There's nothing to do with it yet. Now what we have is 2 to the 2nd power, 2 to the 2nd power, and an x squared. Whoops, I wrote that wrong. Let's try that again. X squared to the 2nd power. So when I do that, 2 squared is 2 times 2, so my answer is 4. 2 to the x squared to the 2nd power, 2 times 2 is 4, so it's x to the 4th power. That is my answer for this one. If you think about it, this is the same as saying, like if you did this and subtracted these two right here, you would have 4 minus 2 is 2, so you'd have 2x squared times 2x squared. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 2x's and 2x's is 4x's. There's number 5. Now, try number 5. Let me give you a hint. Do the bottom first, then do the other part. Try that now. Okay, so what you're supposed to do now is this part underneath here. So I'm going to rewrite the top, 12x to the 5th. Now, 2 to the second power, that's 4. Then x squared to the second power, we just went over that one in the problem before. This is x to the 4th. Now you do this part. Now, you don't subtract these numbers. That's one of the biggest mistakes. The only thing you're subtracting when you divide is the exponents. You treat 12 divided by 4 the same. That's 3. Then you do 5 minus 4, which is 1. X to the first power. Isn't it amazing how I know what mistakes you guys make? I'm not doubting some of you. I'm just saying that if there's certain mistakes, I know what they tend to be. Okay? I do not think everybody's stupid. How did you get 3? 12 divided by 4. And the next problem right here. All right, on number 6, right here, do what is inside the parentheses first. Okay? What is 4 divided by 2? 2. Now look at this one, though. 2 minus 4 is what? Is x to the negative 2 power. Now, we still haven't messed with this one yet. So it's to the second power. Now, we've already said 2 to the second power is 4. Negative 2 times 2 is x to the negative 4th power. This is one way it can be written, but we don't know if the EOC will use negative exponents, positive exponents, or what it'll do. I can also write this like this. Changing this to positive means I put it in the denominator, so it becomes 4 over x to the 4th. Both of these mean the same thing. Fine. Okay. Now, number 7. Hey, Babbles, pay attention. Here we go. Right here, what's a babble? Okay. Now, the bases are the same, so we're going to subtract our exponents. So I get m to the what? M to the 0, right? 2 minus 2 is 0. What is anything to the 0 power? 1. Anything, put in your calculator 100 to the 0 power. 100 caret 0, it says 1. It's just a rule. All right, number 8. Here's the next one. Try this one. This one right here, treat your coefficients like normals. If I had 4 over 16, it is 1/4, but I want to remind y'all. Oh, that's not the button. It's 0.25 as well, yes, but we're going to write it as a fraction. We're going to put in there 4 divide 16, just to remind you. Math, enter, enter. Gives you 1/4, okay? So this, go away thing, there we go. So I'm going to have 1 over 4. Well, actually, let me write it like that. I'll just write it as 1/4, and then we'll do all that. So I have 1/4. Now, negative 7 minus 1. X to the negative 8. You take the top number minus the bottom. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. The y's. 2 minus 3 is y to the negative 1. The z's make 0 and cross out. All right, I know it's not cabello, it's cabeza. I was trying to ignore you, but that's okay. You cross them out. You don't put in there z to the 0 power. Okay? You don't put it, no, z to the 0 power is 1, so this just goes away. Okay, they go away right here. Now, this is one of the ways you can write your answer. If you rewrite it to have positive exponents, though, I have it as 1 over 4, 1/4, still there, x to the 8th y. Because it's over, yeah, because they're over 1. Yes. Right, so when you move it down here to the bottom, it's a positive 1. I mean, I can write. You don't have to put the 1 there, though. Mm-hmm. Negative way. It takes a negative way, yes. The 1 has to be up here to hold its place because that's what makes it a fraction. It's 1/4 and it's 1 over, yes. If it's on top, yes. I think we might have that switches around right here. So you'll see in a minute. Try this one. This is our last one. All right, on this last one, you're going to take 8 divided by 4, and that's 2. Now, the ends, -3 minus 3, n to the -6. Now, the r's, 1 minus 2 is r to the -1. T, 2 minus 1 is just a positive t, positive 1. Okay? Here is one of the ways that your answer could be written. Or, to write them with all positive exponents, I have the 2 and the t. Those exponents are still a positive 1. So it would be 2t up top, n to the 6th, r to the 1st power on the bottom. Right. The 2 and the t are positive, so they stay there. You only move what's down below. You only move the negatives down there to make them positive. Okay?